Once early spring arrives, I'm impatient to find the first edibles of the new season. Just as everything started to sprout, along came an early April snowstorm last year, 2 days after I began to film these bright green leaves of Virginia bluebells. Temperatures were below 30 degrees, and the emerging leaves looked frozen. I wondered if they had died. The buds were protected, so I hoped they'd be okay. A few days after the storm, the snow had melted, and the leaves came back to life. Fortunately, they're used to difficult situations. These spring ephemerals are resilient survivors, and here are a few hardy young shoots growing between these rocks. Virginia bluebells are native perennials related to the herb borage. No wonder people welcome them into their woodland gardens. They're so lovely. They first appear as a basal cluster, develop quickly, and can grow to be almost 2 feet high. Flowers in a sunny area may wilt quicker than those in the shade. Blossoms start to appear in mid-April and begin to disappear by the end of May. Not only are these plants a pleasure to look at, they're edible as well. A word of caution. In the UK, there's a completely different poisonous plant whose common name is bluebells. I haven't seen it around here, but someone watching this video may have access to it. That's why it's important to know the scientific name of a plant, which is unique to it and no other. If you buy Virginia bluebells, be sure its scientific name is Mertensia virginica. Leaves are bright green when they first start to appear in late March. Their undersides are somewhat lighter with prominent veins. They have smooth margins and no teeth. Because they're delicate and feel soft, they may bruise easily. These leaves were different from others I'd found. Their color was dark green with a purplish tinge. Were they just another variation? Once they bloomed, the answer was yes. Some stems have a purple hue near their bottom, but not all do. Stems are hollow. Chew them to release a juicy green flavor. These gorgeous plants are one of the first edibles of spring, and flowers have a variety of colors. They start out as pink buds, then become blue as they begin to open. Many flowers grow on each plant. Some ripen while others are still in the bud stage. From the side, they have a trumpet shape, and from the front, they resemble a cup. These are one of the first sources of food for pollinators, intent on finding sustenance. Plants are moist and tender. Don't overharvest them. Leave some for others to enjoy. I don't have many in my yard. However, I was able to gather a variety of vegetation, plus a few Virginia bluebell flowers to make this small, colorful salad. Collect plants when their size is from 4 to 8 inches. I didn't want to pick a bunch, so I gathered a small group of stems, leaves, and buds and used a steamer to cook them for 30 to 60 seconds. The slightly mucilaginous leaves shrink down. To get a decent amount, you need to collect a lot. If you have many plants where you live, then do that, but I don't. So I added my sample amount to a stir-fry with other vegetables, along with a splash of sesame seed oil and soy sauce. Their stems were the most flavorful parts. I cut them in little pieces and mixed them into my old standby hummus. Flowers start to fade when the weather warms in May and when ostrich ferns begin to leaf out. As they begin to die off, small inedible seeds appear. Soon their leaves become dog-eared and disappear. Often these plants are grown as ornamentals because they're so aesthetically appealing. They're good for woodland gardens because they group together and grow fast. Since I've yet to discover any in the wild, I'm glad to have some in my garden where they appreciate partial shade and I appreciate them.
Nothing is quite as pretty as the bluebells in the wood.